All right, guys, before we begin tonight, which I want to keep it shorter than last times, does anyone have any questions about what we did on? Anyone? No. Okay, then I don't have my, where's my power? Guys, you guys are getting the real deal. Like we were talking about this before in the little group with the leaders that are running this. I mean, okay, I was going to say I don't have my power. I have it. Okay, so last time we did how to make new contacts. If you have any questions, make sure you reach out. Tonight we're just going to talk about what we mean by connect and show you how we connect. So one of the leaders on our team, Ashley Schofield, she's going to show us, she's going to kind of show you what she does, and then I'll pick up where she left off, and if any of the other leaders on the call have anything to add, they can add it. You guys can ask questions, and I'll call it a night. All right, go ahead, Ashley.
Okay. So I guess to get started really quick, when I do my connecting, it's usually not done all at once. I try to break it up. I work a full-time job, so I try to get in a little bit of it during the day if I can, like on my lunch and things like that, so that I don't have to try to cram it all into the evening. Because when I try to do that, it usually doesn't go very well. Just being honest. I usually get distracted. So I try to break it up so that I don't get distracted by all the shiny things. So that being said, let me share my screen real quick. Okay. Can you guys all see that? Yes. Okay. Sorry, I have like 5 million. I always have like 5 million messages, like windows open on my computer. It drives my husband crazy. But I need to keep them up to keep myself sane. Otherwise I forget where I'm at. I usually have like 3 different Facebook tabs open. But it's how I keep myself organized. It probably drives everybody else nuts, but I have to do it. So when I'm connecting with new people, excuse me, typically if I do like 2 different kinds of connections, I either do like new messages, so like hey girl messages, so reaching out to people you might not have necessarily talked to before, so like new friends, or reaching out to people you haven't talked to in a while, just sending like a, hey, you can take a quick look at their profile, see what, let me give you an example, see what is new with them. Let me find my friends, and I'll show you one that I would do with somebody that I've recently added. But just give them just, hey, how are you? How are the kids? Or your kids are adorable, something of that nature. Let's see. That works. We can do that. Okay. So this is actually somebody that I know through one of my friends from college. They went to high school together. So I don't think I've spoken to this person in like over 10 years. So in this case, I would just say, hey, Erica, if I can spell her name right. Thanks so much for the ad. And then coincidentally enough, she lives really close to where I used to live in Virginia. And I never knew that when I lived there. So I would just say something like, it's been forever. How are you? I see you live in Leesburg, small world. I used to live in Bristow. That's where I used to live. And then send. So it doesn't have to be anything crazy. That's just like a new connection, somebody that I recently friended. I typically try to get back to those people like the day after they've accepted my friend request. So you'll get notifications when people accept your friend requests. And then you can also go into the recently added friends on your, like you see on my screen, on your screen, and you can see anybody who's recently accepted your friend request. And then I would add that person to my list for somebody that I've made a connection with today, so that I can make sure that I follow up with them at a later date. And then the other types of connections that I do are like connections with people that I've been continuing to have a conversation with, which I have a lot of right now. And I have a lot that I am a little behind on following up with. But just today, we have a group that's starting on Monday. So today I sent out like a crap ton of messages to people that were interested in the group. So I'll have to tonight and then into tomorrow continue connecting with the people that responded, whether they were interested in the group, whether they wanted to join, and kind of like feel out what their thoughts are on that. So for somebody that has, I usually use my phone. I'm not going to lie. I usually use my phone to respond to messages, just because it's faster and sometimes I think less clunky. But if I have to do it on my computer, I go directly into like Messenger and do it this way rather than responding in those tiny little boxes, because I can never see them. So I would, like I said, I have a lot of people to respond to over here. But these are all people I have to respond to with regard to the group. But somebody that I know is not, who recently messaged me. Oh wow, that's a long message. But I had sent her, we've been talking for a while, so I sent her a bunch of voice messages, because sometimes for me, when I'm traveling to and from work, it's easier for me to message people in the form of voice message, especially if we've been having like longer conversations. So I'll voice message, especially if I have like a longer point I want to get across, and then they can respond in their own time. But this is someone that I have been talking to for a while, and so I wanted to follow up with her just to see how things were going. They've had a lot of like things going on in their life, so I wanted to kind of check in and see how everything was going with her, because she's got some health issues that I really like to, be able to help her with. So but yeah, and this is a much longer message, so it would take me some time, because I really do like to try to be personal in my messages. I try really hard not to just I try really hard to like listen to what they're saying and respond accordingly, and not just say the things that I feel like I need to say. So that way I can make sure that I'm giving them, finding out the things that they really need, and seeing if I can find a solution that really fits their needs. So in this case, like I said, she's got some health issues. She's going to see a specialist soon. She's got issues with her ankles and her knees and her hips. So we've been like working through this for a while. And then her job is on the rocks. Her husband's job just got a new job. So they've got a lot going on in their life. So, this would be a much longer response. I'm not going to make you sit through my response on this one. But I will, respond to it later. But that's pretty much what I do. Like, I really just, it's really just about like connecting with people. Like, and like really caring about what it is that their response is, and not just connecting with them to like check off a box. Like start out with people that, you see in your feed that you feel like you would have a reason to connect with them about, whether it's somebody that you went to high school with, or, college with, or, used to live in your old neighborhood, that you feel like you want to connect with again, and like reach out to those people first, because it's usually easiest to reach out to those people first. And then, build from there. And as you add people and as you find new people to add, you'll find more and more people that you can have more of these conversations with. And that's why like taking a look at their page helps too, because then you can find if there's something on their page that like, you have an interest in too. It's another way for you to connect with them. Like if they really like gardening and you have an interest in learning how to garden, then, or you're really good at it and they have a question, they've posted a question in the past, it's just something else to connect about, rather than like, I don't know, how's the weather? So, but I think that's about it.
Cool. Thanks, Ashley. Yeah, that's great.
All right, well, let me unscreen share.
Okay. That was great. I want you guys to get like a real feel for like what we do for real. We talked about this before, and Ashley's like, oh my God, everything's a mess on my computer screen, my messages. And I'm like, doesn't matter. I want you guys to, see that power hours aren't perfect. So I'm just going to kind of add on a little bit to what she said, and you guys can ask questions. I made a list of a couple of ways to connect, and it's going to change as you become a more veteran coach, which makes it difficult for us to show you exactly what we do. But I'm going to start with probably one that you can all do no matter where you are in your journey. What I'm going to say is do a post on Facebook. It doesn't matter if it's a transformation post, a recipe post, anything kind of post, even something with your kids or your cat or your dog, whatever. And people who like or comment on your post, it's a really good place to start. It's easier if someone comments, because then, it kind of starts the conversation that way. But if they like your post, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, thanks for let's say it's a transformation post. Send them a message. This is a connection post. Hey, thanks for liking my transformation post this morning. I felt like an idiot when I posted that, but I really want to get out to the world how much I love blah, 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 21 Day Fix, or the 3-day refresh, or whatever. That's a connection post. If they commented, even easier, makes it even easier. If it's a recipe, send them the recipe via Messenger. Ask them. There's nothing wrong with there's something called curiosity marketing, which is kind of the new whatever for social media marketing. So there's nothing wrong with not giving the whole giving everything away when you do your post. Instead, tell them, comment below for the recipe. And then if it's a really beautiful recipe picture, you'll get lots of comments. You can message them all the recipe privately and get them chatting that way. So that's number one. Number two, for new coaches, go write down your friends list. And this takes a little time. And I promise you, this section becomes super easy as you start to have like a bucket full of people to talk to. This little connection section will become so easy. Like I could fill up like 100 pages of connections. But in the beginning, I think it's a little trickier. Go write down your friends list and click on a name. Start with the A's. Click on a name. Go to their page. Maybe they're interested. Like kind of what Ashley was saying. Maybe they just had a new baby. Maybe they just went to Florida. Maybe they did this, that, the other thing. And you're not going to connect with every single person. That's why I said it's going to take a little bit more time. But weed through some of the people that you might be able to connect with. Start with A's and go write down your list. Easy peasy. As you become more veteran coaches and start to run challenge groups, well, we're going to get to inviting to free groups, and maybe get some of you running a free group if you haven't already. I go back, what I do during my connection time is I go back to my free groups, which is like 3 years of free groups. And a lot of those people have not bought challenge packs for me. So I go back and I just check in with them. Hey, Nicole, how are you doing? Did you blah, 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 or did you do this or whatever? How are you doing? Maybe I'll send them a recipe depending on, where our conversation last left off. So those connections, you guys, they get so easy as you go along. But in the beginning, you just have to start somewhere, just sending them out. Even though the thing, kind of like what Ashley was doing, what we were doing on Tuesday, I kind of jumped ahead because that would be considered a connection when you add a friend, and then I usually do the next day, and you send them a message just saying, "Hey, girl, thanks for the ad. Looks like we have some awesome mutual friends. So I figured you were awesome too." That's a connection. So that's what I've got for you. People who like and comment on your posts, go down right down your friends list, weed them out. I don't promote scrolling your news feed during your power hour because that can get, time can go really, really fast. But if you're scrolling your news feed, like sometimes I'll be scrolling my news feed and I'll see someone's post that I can connect with, and then I'll message them. That's a connection. So this is one time where I'm giving you permission to scroll your news feed. Collecting them from your challenge groups and just sending them that "Hey girl" message. "Hey girl, how are you?" kind of thing. Does anyone have any questions? You can type them in the chat, or you can just unmute yourself and ask them if you want to. I don't know where my chat is. Wait, there it is. Empty, never mind. You guys aren't asking me anything.
Katie, real quick, I actually just want to second what you said about scrolling through your friends list, because I find that I have to do that now because there are people that I might have connected with, I'm 2 years in at this point. There are people that I connected with, within the first 6 months, that I really haven't connected with since then. So that's been helpful to me even now. So sometimes, going back to that isn't necessarily the worst thing in the world because you might find people that you can connect with, especially as your, journey progresses and as things change, you'll find people that you will develop other connections with that you might not have had in the beginning. Or even things that they might not necessarily post about on social media that you might be able to connect with them on. So
totally.
I've done the same thing, Ashley. I started going down my list, starting with A's, and I'm still working on it. I'm like, oh my God, I haven't talked to this person in forever.
Yes, so am I. I got to like G. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's still people.
It's so true. And when, we focus a lot and obviously we have to add to our network all the time in order to keep our businesses sustainable, but we forget about the people that we already have, have our hundreds of friends that we already have that we haven't connected with. And just that one message might open that door, get that conversation going. You never know. And you're doing like 5 a day, 3 to 5 a day, that adds up fast if you're consistent about doing it. Anyone else? Anything to add or any questions or anything?
So, Katie. Okay, so what if you added somebody as a friend like a while back and you just never did that message, because you just, I don't know, you just let time pass or whatever. So do you send it now, or do you say, "Hey girl," or hey, dude, or whatever? Do you just kind of, and it's somebody you don't really know that well, you just have, like, how do you go about that?
Well, I think you have to, kind of use your own judgment on something like that. So for me, I would probably say a message similar, or maybe just add in there, "Thanks for the ad a couple months ago," or something like that.
Or you can look at their page and see if you can comment or like or something and connect that way. And
that's true.
Send a message, "Hey, how you been?" or something. That's what I do.
Yeah. I told Katie I made probably, I bet at least 17 to 20 connections since the call on Tuesday that I've actually friended back. And I bet at least half of them responded to that message.
Yeah. It's a good message.
And most of them came from where I work at Wegmans, not necessarily at my store, but through the store or through Wegmans. And I can tell you, I don't know who half of them are. I see them around the store, but I don't know them, but, it's cool, whatever. So it works, right?
Absolutely. And there's no, I'm glad you asked that question because there's no right or wrong. here, and what works for somebody does not necessarily mean it's the end all be all for somebody else. So, if you're being real and being genuine, then I think you're doing the right thing no matter what you do.
Right. Well, I'm almost positive I saw somebody today that I'm friends with at the store, but she friended me, and it's a it's a unique rep or unique or whatever it's called. She friended me a long time ago, and I don't, she's never made, actually, other than, inviting me or adding me to her group without, asking me. She's never made a connection with me. I'm not 100% sure it's her, but I didn't say anything to her because, you can't be positive if you don't know. But, I'm glad that we had that, have that idea now of how to make that first connection when we don't really know the person, that gets that whole thing out of the way. The awkwardness, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
when you do run into them. So that's all I got.
Anyone else have any questions or anything? You guys feel good with it? Do you want me to show you? Does anyone want me to show exactly what I do? Or you guys feel good? Does everyone feel good with it?
If you want to take a couple minutes and do that, I'm sure everybody would be appreciative.
Let me do it. Don't feel like you have to stay on if you feel like you've got it. But I will, and I hope my screen doesn't freeze here because for whatever reason it goes so slow on Zoom. So I'll load it onto my Facebook. I'm telling you guys, this computer. Here it comes. I told you it was slow. Okay, so what I will do is go to, let's see, where do I want to take you guys? You guys want to see like the real deal, or do you want me to show you something that's more like accurate for you guys? Let's see. Anyone have an opinion? Oh my gosh, this computer is gonna go so slow. Killing me. All right, I'll go to my friends list. And what I'm gonna do is I'm like Ashley. Usually work from my phone. So I'm gonna go right down my friends list. See, most of these people are coaches, but let's keep going. Who am I going to connect with tonight? Okay, I'm going to connect with Allison. I'm going to write them down. Allison Stexner or whatever. I am going to connect with Amanda. And I'll do one more. I will connect with Ashley. Okay, so now I'll go to my messenger. Megan's computer on Tuesday night was going really slow and she's screen sharing, which made me feel better, but I'm like, makes it so hard. Okay, so I'm going to go to the first one. Is Allison. Here she is. Let's see when I last connected with her. Did I click it? The right one. She was interested in joining a group at one point. So let's see where we left off. Oh, money-wise. It was a money objection. So I'm just going to say, hey, girl. You hope. She's a teacher. I already know. And she's got kids. I just wanted to check in. Smile face. Done. Okay, my next girl, Amanda. I have no patience for this. This is why I use my phone. Amanda. And I'm not a very good like role model because I have a really, really good memory. And I know, I don't know, but it's good to write people down that you talk to and make a little note about who they are. So this girl was a coach on another team a long time ago, but she went to school with my husband, and I asked her to speak on a team call years ago. I don't know if Janelle might remember. Janelle, you might remember. Anyway, she quit coaching a while back, maybe 2 years ago, and she came to me and was like, I want to be your customer. I want to be your whatever. So she's been a customer of mine, but she's always talking about rejoining as a coach, but she has not done it.
Yeah, her name's familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Why hasn't she done it? What's she procrastinating about?
Well, she just had other stuff going on. She had a baby.
Oh, okay.
And then she's got some
There's no other reason.
Kids from another marriage that she's going through some things with and whatnot.
So it's not a Beachbody thing. She wants to do that. She's still a fan.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. She was singing at the top of her lungs.
So I did a live video a long time. Hang on, a long time ago. Hope we were doing well. I did a live video of Charlotte and I in Target. Charlotte was singing, and then
I saw that video.
It was a Power Rangers video, I believe. And then Amanda has a little girl, tiny bit younger than Charlotte, but she did a video very similar and posted on my timeline of her daughter singing in Target. And she's like, our daughters would be best friends. So anyways, I remember that. So here's Ashley. Is also a past customer of mine. She had twins. I'm thinking as I'm talking. She also has a really cute dog that she has sent me a picture at movies of. So that's how I made my connections. There's 3 connections. So now I'm going to show you guys really quick. Those I don't I do those, but right now I'm doing a clean or a free group coming up. So during my free groups, connections go a lot faster because they're all, like Ashley was showing you, they're all people who I'm already in conversations with. And I just boom, 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 go right down the list when I sit down to message people. I try really hard to only message people back when I'm sitting at my computer doing my work, because I have missed too many messages opening them when I'm with my kids, and I get sidetracked. And then I don't forget. Then I forget that I opened the message, and then it's not bold anymore, so it gets pushed way down to the bottom, and I feel horrible. So I leave them bolded until I can message them back. People don't mind waiting. You think they will, but they don't mind. So that's it.
So you actually leave your messages bolded until you are actually doing Beachbody work. You don't
Oh yeah,
get them when you're on your phone.
I do not.
Does that go for your coaches too?
No, I'll try to open. Like those are easier for me. So like I'll if somebody messages me, then I'll, like if one of you guys messages me, like I'll, typically see it. A lot of you know to text me, so you guys, if it's really important, I'll get the text message will come
Right.
through. And my messenger messages are turned off.
Okay.
Oh no, because those are easy, and I don't track them. I'm not tracking like a message with you guys or with Jen or whoever that I'm talking to. So
Okay.
if I have the chance, but I'm trying to do better about that, about being super.
That's a good idea though. I mean, that's smart, keeping them bolded like that.
Mm-hmm.
I do the same thing.
Okay.
Because otherwise I forget who I've responded to and who I haven't. And then it'll be like a month later and I go to like send them a connection. I'm like, oh, I never responded to that message.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I ever have that many where I'd forget, but maybe I should try it.
And if I accidentally do open the message, I mark it as unread immediately.
I didn't know you could do that, Ashley. Is like email. Oh, sweet. Okay.
Yes, can't, because I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna forget to respond to them.
Oh. Becky, go put some eye drops on.
Ashley, I think our conversation is probably, I'm famous for forgetting to answer you back, because Ashley and I we touch base personally like once a month maybe, and It's usually in the form of about 15 minutes of voice messages each.
Yes.
So then I'll oh Ashley messaged me, and I don't have time to listen, but I open it, and then 2 weeks later I'm like, oh sorry, I'm listening to your messages.
Well, probably because you open and you're like, oh crap, there's 15 minutes worth of messages. I don't have time for that.
I do that to Katie like every other day, so don't feel bad.
Hardy. I can't help it. Like, I mean, you saw my like one person I responded to. It was like 5 to 10 minutes worth of messages. I'm like, sorry. I try to be brief. I just can't help it.
Oh, it's too funny. All right, guys. Well, if you have any questions, make sure you share them and post them in the group. And, yeah.
That's great. Thanks, Katie.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ashley.
Thanks for your time, guys. Bye.
Bye.